A female reporter in Mississippi was told by a gubernatorial candidate that she would not be able to follow him for reporting unless she was accompanied by a male colleague. So this is kind of crazy. The candidate in question here is concerned that it would appear as though he's having an affair if he allows a female reporter to follow her. So let's hear a little bit of his reasoning here. By the way, his name is Foster. I'm missing his name. Robert Foster is the name of the candidate. He's unlikely to win anyway, but regardless, let's hear what his reasoning is here.
I didn't want to end up in a situation where me and Ms. Campbell were alone for extended period of time throughout that 15 to 16-hour day. And so out of precaution, I wanted to have her bring someone with her, a male colleague. And it's the other thing that I think is important to point out is that this is my truck, and in my truck, we go by my rules.
Is it that you didn't trust Larrison or you didn't trust yourself? I'm confused here.
I trust myself completely, but I don't trust the perception that the world puts on people when they see things and they don't ask the questions. They don't look to find out the truth. Perception is reality in this world, and I don't want to give anybody the opinion that I'm doing something that I should not be doing.
So Larrison Campbell is the name of the reporter who was told that she could not do her job unless she was accompanied by a male colleague. And so, yeah, he thinks, he also said this, according to NBC News, it's unprofessional to be alone with a woman who's not my wife. I don't know. I mean, I'm married. Our relationship is different. So like, I feel weird judging other people and how they operate in their relationships. However, the way that he's handling this makes it appear as if like she's gonna come on to him or he can't contain himself or handle himself. I don't know. It's just a very strange way of responding to a female reporter when she wants to do her job.
It's disrespectful that he's assuming that people would assume that look at her and look at him and think that she wanted him.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful. And he said, I don't want people to see this and think that I'm doing something wrong. So what I did was do something wrong and discriminated against a reporter and essentially said that I only allow men or you need to have a guardian, which sounds a little like when you start
guardian, yes.
Like it's whatever.
It's very Saudi Arabia-esque in terms of having a male accompany her.
Listen, I'm not here to like beat down on anyone else's culture, I think, but what I'm saying is that they do that, and then you do the exact same thing.
I just want to say for people out there watching, there's another man in the room with us. So if you were uncomfortable or were thinking something untoward about any of us, there's another man here.
Okay, so by the way, as we go to the next clip, real quick, I just want to note that Larrison Campbell, the female reporter, is there. Like you see her in the split screen. In case you're listening to the podcast version of this, she's listening to this interview as it's happening and she's on camera. But with that said, let's hear more from Robert Foster.
Well, first of all, I'm a married man and I made a vow to my wife. And part of the agreement that we've also made throughout our marriage is that we would not be alone with someone of the opposite sex throughout our marriage. And that is a vow that I have with my wife, that I put that and my faith and my religion. That is the reason why we have that vow above anyone else's feelings, including yours. And I apologize to you for that it may hurt your feelings, but I would much rather uphold my vow to my wife over anyone else.
I also want to just quickly note that having another male reporter with her, what does that do? That costs money. Yeah. And so the publication she writes for would have to essentially pay double to do coverage of this candidate. And by the way, you're a gubernatorial candidate, you could use the coverage, but instead you're gonna go ahead and, I don't know, pursue this nonsense.
Well, I think running for governor clearly violates his vow. Like, this is a job you can't do. If it's, I respect your marriage. I respect whatever rules you guys have set for yourselves. If you have to hold one leg up and sleep in separate beds like Dick Van Dyke or whatever, do what you do to make your marriage work, bro. But don't run for governor where people's jobs are to cover you and then say, well, we can only have male reporters. This is not 1952. You can't do that. Right. Stop, sir. Also, that haircut that he had was from 1952. So. I'm just, that bang, not for you, bro. Bop, nope. He looked like a Hanson. I said it, I said it. Send all your hate mail to me, I said it.
All right, let's take a look at the next clip.
I think it's also important to point out the fact that because of the Me Too movement, now men are under attack all of the time. Sometimes those accusations come out to be true, but there are many times they have been proven to be false. And I'm not going to allow myself to be put in a situation where someone, and I'm not saying Ms. Campbell would ever do this, but I'm not going to ever be put in a situation with any female to where they could make an accusation against me and there's not a witness there to refute that accusation.
Men are not under attack. Creepy men are barely under attack. Creepy men are being rightfully taken off of television shows. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's dying. Nobody's getting punched in the face. Super creepy, rapey men are losing TV jobs. That's really it.
No.
Nobody's under attack. Sorry, and like this is just absurd.
I'm entertained now. This story is way more fun now that he believes that the real threat here is that if he's alone with her, she may. And statistically, he's way more likely to sexually assault her than she is to accuse him of sexual assault.
Somebody speaking like that, I do not want to be alone with them. The words that are coming out of his mouth are doing the opposite from what he thinks they are.
I'm impressed that his wife is alone with him.
Scary.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, this isn't the first time that we've heard this type of take from a Republican politician.
Didn't Mike Pence say that?
Yes, yes. I remembered about that too, so I actually pulled up the quote. Vice President Mike Pence once told The Hill, a political newspaper and website, that he never dines with women alone, nor does he attend functions without his wife if alcohol is being served. So either they don't trust themselves or they think that they will be unfairly treated or perceived by people because of the Me Too, like all sorts of nonsense. Like, again, we're talking about a reporter who should be allowed to do her job without having a male colleague with her the entire time. Like, this is absurd. And you made the best point, Brooke, that like, does he think that she's gonna hit on him? Like,
she does not want you. I looked at her, I looked at you. She doesn't want you. Stop. Like, get over yourself. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. It's offensive. It's discriminatory. It's awful. So at this point, I mean, where does that end? Women they already can't wear sleeveless dresses in the White House. So now newspapers should only hire men because men feel safe around that. Like, this is absurd.
So, I mean,
this is ridiculous.
Think about it, like just think about it in your day-to-day life, like put it in your context. Because I think about how often I'm alone with males, right? That I have absolutely no type of like romantic relationship with, and it's totally fine. We don't overthink it. It's in a professional setting. Like Cenk is my boss. And so I report to him. So when I have meetings with him one-on-one, is that dangerous? Considering what this nonsense, argument is portraying in the media right now?
The big idea is men and women can't be friends because men and women are fundamentally different. Men can be friends with men because men think the same. But we can't be friends with women because you guys are only objects of our affection. So either we like you sexually or we do not. Those are the only two things. And if you are sexually attractive enough for us to be uncomfortable, then you need to have some type of barrier between me and you. And that's actively what he's saying. What confuses me the most about this is Mike Pence's apparent affinity for Jamie Foxx. He's blaming it on the alcohol. Is that a thing that's happened? Okay, I'm sorry. I just thought that's what he said. I'm sorry. That's me. Look at me, people. My bad.
We have one more clip. Let's take a look.
What happens in your truck that's different than a room with an open door?
It's just a perception, and that's a rule that I've always had and I've always followed. It's a very professional rule that many other people, including Billy Graham and Governor Mike Pence, have followed, and many other leaders throughout our nation.
Did people have any reason? Did people have any reason to think anything of you and who rides in your truck? Why would they ever think that a professional?
I'm not going to give them the opportunity to, and that's the whole point.
And Representative, just yes or no, you don't deny you would give a man this access, yes?
I would, and I stand my ground.
So, wow. I mean, you're so right, Brooke, in that what he's doing is making me question, like, yeah, what does go on in your truck?
It's it's a little scary. She, at this point, like.
What kind of truck is it?
I don't know.
A big white van with no windows? I don't know.
But like, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
No.
Like, we wouldn't be wondering what goes on in his truck.
Is it an ice cream truck? I don't know. Like,
if he had a Prius, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Are the windows tinted too dark? I don't know. What this is disgusting. This is gross, though.
It's pretty gross.
And you know what? Honestly, you made a point that he's not going to be governor, and no one was ever going to take a picture of him and a woman that has. This newspaper has covered all of the candidates, so everyone knows what the deal is. Nobody's gonna take a picture of him and put it on a flyer and say, look what he did. Nobody's gonna take a picture of him.
Right.
This is how he got attention.
I mean, think about how many female reporters do exactly what this female reporter wants to do, and there's never any issue, right? Unless the male candidate does something wrong and the woman decides to go public with it.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.